a Patreon listener. And we'll see you guys over there. But for now, we'll see you guys over here.
All right.
Yeah, whatever. We're going to juggle them.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Welcome to the special Podstradamus episode of the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Not So Damas.
There it is. And today I would like to start out by, discussing why we're all here, why everybody hit the internet and the social media waves in the first place this morning. And that was to wish a happy birthday to Joan Jett. We love her. She was a pioneer in music from the Black Hearts. Rose to fame. Is a beautiful older punk rock lady. And I'm going to start this episode of Podstradamus out by saying this will be her last birthday alive. She's going to die this year.
This is your prediction?
That's my prediction, yeah.
This is how you're starting it,
Look,
huh?
I don't mean to be insensitive at all, okay?
Holy shit, Jay.
I frequent Celebrity Death Pool. It's like a website where you can bet money on what celebrities are going to die next. And a lot of money's been going into Joan Jett for some reason. So I don't know if there's some medical history that recently surfaced, but I'm going to put my money in the professionals that are over there at the Celebrity Death Pool. And that's my first prediction of the day. Joan Jett, no, I don't want it to sound like a bad...
Your numbers up, huh?
Yeah, well, I love you.
Holy shit,
Got nothing
Jay.
but respect for you, but that's my prediction.
That is a horrible prediction, bro.
Was that bad? Was that in bad taste?
No, it's good.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I'm all right with it.
So we decided that for Thursday, since we got this time machine, we might as well. We always go back and see shit. We decided that we would go into the future and see what things are going to be like. And we were setting everything up. Grant and Brant, our new executives, came in, slapped the controller out of our hands, and immediately told us that we were not allowed to do that.
They said no mas.
They apparently said that we can't go into the future at all. That's not a thing that, it's possible, but it's not covered under insurance. Anything that happens in the future will not be covered under insurance. It's only past and present injuries.
They gave some lame excuse like your brain will explode if you knew that information.
Yeah, which is like, come on, man. I think we can handle it.
So instead, we decided to explode our own brains.
And make some predictions. And you never know. If these predictions come true, then we could be like those great fortune tellers like AT&T.
Yeah.
Or Nostradamus.
Which you'll see here shortly.
All of our ads and commercials today are brought to you by AT&T, and they did a whole campaign like back in 1993 where they predicted the future a bunch of times in all kinds of different little commercial shorts.
Yeah, and now we think it's a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. We
had
knew.
to be, right?
Yeah, they had the technology the whole time.
Yeah, how?
I don't know, but I mean, you figure when everything hits the market, it's already been some sort of government technology for, at least 10 or 15 years, if not more.
Sure, but not true, though.
And who made that technology? AT&T did.
Yeah, right? But
Yeah.
there's private sectors in every industry. So, technology, private sectors in technology have not shit to do with the government.
I don't think it's any of your business what's going on in people's private parts.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it. AT&T wasn't owned by the government. It was private. So
yeah,
they had the shit and sold it to the government, right?
Yeah.
That's how they did it.
But I mean, you figure you could make a lot more money selling it exclusively to the government for like a 10-year deal than you would
buy a lot more of it.
than you would pushing it on the market.
Well, maybe.
Well, it'd be a slow.
What if it's a hit like the Nokia phone?
Oh, yeah, you never know. What was it? The 1100 or whatever?
Yeah, fucking what? There was like 4 billion of them or some shit.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So what? You got some predictions over here? Or what? What do you think is going to be happening in the future?
Well, let's set some parameters. I think
Okay.
we're mostly going to be picking things that could become near future predictions.
Like within the next couple years.
Yeah, as far as soon as next year. Also, like, what do we think is going to happen here shortly? As far as like next year and the next couple, and then at the end we'll make some like long term predictions and see what we think.
Okay. All right. I'm with it.
I'm with it.
So what do you got? I already predicted Joan Jett's death.
All right. Well, what you didn't say when though. So
No, I just
you said
said
next year, right?
I said sometime within. I mean, it's her birthday today, so sometime within a year from today. I'd say within 364 days. Because I just said that she wouldn't celebrate her next birthday. She'll be dead by then.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say. All right. My closest prediction is gonna be for Halloween.
For Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it?
I think it's gonna be a Pokemon Halloween
That everybody's going to be dressed as Pokemon.
or something related to it. I think that's gonna be the most popular thing.
Isn't it going to be hard to hunt for Pokemon on Halloween if there's a bunch of people dressed up as Pokemon and then also augmented reality Pokemon and then people's dogs are wearing Pokemon outfits? Like imagine if you're like high or like drunk and you're trying to throw like a Pokeball at a dog that's dressed up as Pikachu just because you see it on your phone camera.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to happen a lot. So be wary of that.
Yeah, it's probably the best time
To
to do
Pokemon it up?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be huge because all the gyms will be lit up, all the people will be like, all the fucking Pokemons will be out on family neighborhoods and shit. I'm sure like they'll program it that way to make it like, easy for people to play while they're trick or treating and it'll become a thing. I don't know why. I just think that game was too big of a fluke. I think it has died out a little bit, but that's what Halloween's all about. It's the revamp for everything. They get whatever was hot this summer will be dope costumes. Whatever was like anything this year is gonna be new. And then there's also gonna be the same old traditional shit. And Pokemon was already somewhat of a traditional costume, so I think it's probably I'm betting on that being the number one.
Yeah, especially now that since a bunch of people of all ages are playing Pokemon and more familiar with just Pikachu, like he was the go-to guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm also willing to say there'll be some Stranger Things costumes.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Pablo Escobars.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. I could totally see that.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of dust.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's my closest one. For sure.
All right, well, one thing that I want to do is the new Star Wars movie is going to be coming out at the end of the year, Rogue One. And I have some numbers from The Force Awakens. So this is going to be way more than whatever Rogue One's going to get because the hype's not as much. But I want to, I'll guess a number, you guess a number, and then we'll see what the actual number is when it comes out, grossing in the first week.
Okay, this is great because I have 2 predictions for this. Actually.
Yeah? All right. So, The Force Awakens, which was hyped as fuck, one of the biggest fucking Star Wars releases ever, was $936 million in the United States and a little over $2 billion worldwide. So, with that in mind, what would you say? We'll just say in the United States or worldwide. What do you think?
You can do both. I'll say, I'll place a comfortable bet at 750 million domestic.
750 million domestic.
Something like that.
Okay. I'm going to guess Bob, what was his bid? 750. I'm gonna guess 751 million.
You motherfucker.
It's closest without going over, right?
I was gonna say 800 originally.
There it is, 751 million. It's set in stone. So we'll
Okay.
see what the numbers are when they come out.
Okay, now that is just a comfortable bet and not my prediction.
I know. I did it for a joke.
Safe there, all right.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I'm gonna say.
What do you feel?
I'm gonna say that I feel like it'll do like a little over half of what The Force Awakens did. So if The Force Awakens was almost $1 billion, then I'm gonna say like probably like 600 mil domestic. That's what I'm gonna say. So I even went lower than you, because there was just like a huge surge for it, and I haven't even really heard anybody talking about Rogue One, and it's only a few months away. It's coming out in December. So
yeah.
So it's like I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't seen like any more. I saw a couple trailers on YouTube, but I searched them out myself. Like I had to type in Star Wars Rogue One trailer and watch it. It wasn't like it was put in front of my face like everything else.
Yes.
So I'm lowballing it.
Yes, see, and that's what okay, so I think that could be a possibility. I think it could go.
It's because it's not Disney, so they're not going to get the push that Disney gets.
What
It's
do you
just
mean?
The Rogue One, like there's a Disney series and then there's a Lucasfilm series, right? Like Rogue One isn't.
It's all Disney. It's all owned by Disney.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. They own the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it's all Disney. So it's all going to be the same no matter what. This is the franchise to make Disney.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it for them.
This is it.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, this was the last piece to their puzzle. They need nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But it's like, I think that it's going to hurt them that people, like how it's taking place in the same universe with like different people in a different time. And it's not, like from what I understand, it's not connected to the other Star Wars films. Like
everything is connected.
Yeah, everything's connected, but it's not like heavily, like you don't see a lot of reoccurring characters and they don't talk about a lot of things. Like maybe you'll hear about the Republic or something about the Jedi every once in a while, but that's about as far as it goes. And people don't want these new characters. They want Han Solo and, that's like reoccurring shit. So I think that only Star Wars fans, like hardcore fanboys, are the ones that are really geeked about it. And a lot of like the major public is just going to wait for the next Star Wars Episode 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be a possibility, but okay, so here's my two predictions.
All right.
My first prediction is it could go almost as good as the last one.
Uh-huh.
But not better than. Most definitely not. Only because of the lack of advertisement this year. My second prediction is that it could follow suit like the original trilogy. And even more so now because of the alternate stories and because it's like tying a bunch of loose ends in the universe that have just been out there kind of like, Star Wars is a huge universe and it has so many aspects of it. It has books and other series. It has all these things that are like all a part of it that tell like a bigger story than the first core story.
Yeah.
So there's origin stories, just like in like X-Men or Marvel or whatever, and all these origin stories tell you everybody's past. That's what these are all about. So like, honestly, to me, I think all the real fans are more juiced than ever. And the reason why maybe they didn't advertise so much is because they don't need to. Everybody already saw the hype was real, and they know now that the second one is already coming. They've known since the first one. They know that it's an installment that's going to keep coming, so they don't really have to advertise it because Star Wars is its own machine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think,
it could
let's say this. It doesn't do as good, or it fucking does even better.
It could.
Because of direct competition with Avatar coming out 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So, like, let's see who the real man is. We're about to find out. Lucas Dick or fucking Cameron Dick. You know what I'm saying? Who's longer? We're about to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's the battle of the fucking space.
I got my money on Star Wars.
Me too, all day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Avatar can stand up. I think Avatar was a great thing, but I think it was a one-time thing.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars is tried and tested and proven to just be the shit after the shit after the shit. You know? And
you could watch any Star Wars movie 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the first one.
Well, and now The Force Awakens just proved again that they still have the formula.
Yeah.
You know, like all they had to do is remake it, and now it's like, okay, what are they going to do with these other ones now? You know, I think it's a lot more intriguing.
Yeah.
To like they're keeping it. It's like more secret almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more secret than the first one.
Yeah, that's dope. So
we'll see.
It could be something that feeds itself.
Yeah.
All right. We got to take a break.
Oh fuck.
We got to take a break before this next one. But we got some predictions from our sponsor.
Oh, that's right.
Which is AT&T in 1993, not AT&T today. I just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, if you were in 1993, you would think this is a wow moment.
Yeah. Some people are listening to this when it comes out. Some people are listening to this 2 years after. Some people are listening to this in 1993. And if you are, then you just saw this commercial today.
Have you ever borrowed a book?
No.
From thousands of miles away? Across the country?
Gesture ahead. Take next.
Without stopping for directions?
Rooms 101.
Or sent someone a fax? From the beach? You will. And the company that'll bring it to you, AT&T.
Holy shit.
How did they know?
Okay, so that was some fucking GPS in your car. Before that was the thing. There was
email on a tablet on the beach.
Email on a tablet or like Evernote or anything like that. And then what was the first one? I forgot what the first one was.
Bro, it was a fucking iPad. The tablet is the important part of that picture.
Yeah, true. But what was the first one? Oh yeah, borrowing a book from around the world. That's like a Kindle or whatever. You know what I mean? All these ebooks and all these book readers that you have.
And it was touchscreen.
Yeah, and you just fucking slide it across and shit. And bitch was in a library. I mean, the woman was in a library and fucking she slid it over with her hand, and that's how Kindles work.
Yeah.
So they predicted this technology 100% in that commercial, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're gonna feed off that juju. What's your next one? What do you got?
Raiders are going to make it to the playoffs.
For real?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know anything about football. I don't follow football. I know what a quarterback is, and I just found out that there was something called a cornerback. Did you know that?
Yep.
Okay, because I was like, did you know that? This is
they guard the wide receiver.
Okay, this is what I did. I saw an article about something, and it was like college cornerback from a football team like did this or whatever it was, and I was like, what the fuck? They spelled this wrong. They said cornerback instead of quarterback, and then I googled it, and it turns out that cornerback is actually a thing.
So on the next episode of Mikey Dislikes It.
Yeah,
it's football.
It's football.
Or any sports.
Yeah, it's not that I don't dislike it. It's just that I don't like it enough to watch it.
You didn't watch the Olympics either.
No, I didn't.
We did a whole week on it.
Yeah, I watched a few things on YouTube. That's about as far as it went. But I say all that to say this. Oh no, don't fail me now, brain. I said
if you would be a football fan, it would be Raiders.
No, that's I guess I'm also saying that, but as an outsider, not knowing anything, it seems like the general consensus is that the Raiders are not good.
No.
Is that true? Is that the Raiders used to be good in the 80s, and then they haven't really won a lot, and then they like come up and then they don't win, and then they come up and then they don't? Or have they like made it to Super Bowls or playoffs?
Yes, that is true. Okay, we've won 3 Super Bowls. There's a lot of teams who fucking haven't won any.
Yeah.
And there's even more that haven't won multiple.
Okay, I'm not trying to bash your team here. I just don't know anything, okay?
But you're absolutely right. We have played really shitty over the years.
But-
like all the 2000s almost, and fucking.
But you guys are playing good enough to where you're confident that you will make it to playoffs this year.
It's the first time in like 20 years. I don't know. Last time we made a playoff run was a fucking 15 years ago or some shit. So I don't know. I think we've been once other than that also, but I'm just saying, yeah, we haven't played that great. But it's still our team though, you know, like you pick a team when you're a kid and you support that team your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And unless they try to move to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I'm not having it.
Yeah. You're right.
So here's my prediction. Raiders make it to the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'm predicting that they do not move to Las Vegas. And I'm going to say why. Most people just speculate, but don't know the rules. There's 32 football teams, and 23 of them have to agree with the team moving from where they're at. And last time I checked, everybody in America are haters. So it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to say yes to these motherfuckers to move. And everybody's going to say you could just do whatever the fuck you want and go build a new $1 billion stadium.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be like,
they're going to
fuck
be
you,
like,
bro.
they're
What
going
do
to
I
be
get?
like, wait, it's my call?
Yeah.
No. That's what they're going to say.
So I'm saying that, you know, no matter how much they want to make it happen, I think all this is just a way to get Oakland to pay more money to build them a stadium right there in Oakland. The commissioner wants them to stay there. The whole league wants them to stay there. The fans want them to stay there. I think ultimately they will stay there. I think the reason why also they will stay is because they moved before and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can't just let teams move whenever the fuck they feel like it. You know?
Yeah.
It's true. It's not like they're not the cheerleaders. They're the football teams.
Yep, it's true. Well, we'll see. Hopefully that one comes. I'm hoping that we have 100% success rate
Yeah.
and that all the shit comes true.
Yeah.
All the
me
way down to Joan Jett.
too. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, I have a prediction, a podriction that
Lay it on me, Podstradamus.
and it has to do with podcasts.
Oh, yeah?
So this is actually relevant to every single 100% of people that are listening to this right now.
Holy
Because
shit.
you're listening to a podcast. So it's like, my point is, podcasts are becoming more and more popular. We talked about this, I don't know, 6 months ago or some shit. I don't really dig time. But we talked about this in the past, went over some numbers, how many people listen to podcasts. A lot of people didn't even know what they were. And, you know, if you're out there listening to podcasts, you know, because you'll be like, oh, I heard this new podcast today, and people will look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? But podcast listenership went up 23% between July of 2015 and July of 2016. A lot of advertisers are looking into podcasts more to find eyeballs and ears to sell shit to people. And it's becoming a more trusted form of media because it's all about getting your content whenever you want it and seeking out something that's made for you. There's not 32 channels that you could flip through that you get on your fucking, you know, little antenna on your TV and that's what everybody watches. You could pick something that's catered to you. And instead of listening to your radio dial, you get millions and millions of options of music and audiobooks and podcasts to listen to. And I think when more people find them, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that will be the new trusted source of entertainment, will be podcasts.
Yeah. Podcasts, also YouTube channels.
Yeah. And it's like, I think that...
Just independent media.
I think that news, like independent media and like news outlets should move to something like a podcast or a YouTube where there's minimal to no advertisement involved and they just give unbiased facts about things that are happening in the world.
The only way to do that is to control them, you know, like the FCC is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But that's a government implement. It has to be like a privatized place that becomes in control of what you see. Once it becomes like a private company that has to answer directly to the people instead of the government, then they have to follow a different set of rules, and all of a sudden it takes money out and all this other shit, you know? So it's like, it makes it more of a necessity instead of a fucking business. Because right now, major media it's just a business, and people don't understand that. People think they're doing a duty by reporting the news to you, and they're just making shit up all the time. They're not even telling the truth. So how can you even call that the news, really? I think it's just another form of entertainment now. It's not even it's just a business. That's all it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's really no telling where it's gonna go. Podcasts, I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to explode.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be bigger and bigger because people are getting the real. They're getting they're searching for what's real. They're searching for what they can relate to. They're searching for community members, people who are in touch with real shit, not out of touch celebrities who are fucking pampered and catered to.
Yeah, and something that's over edited and over beautified and made with all these different sound effects and transitions to how people are used to taking stuff in. Yeah. I think that, we're two guys talking about what we think is going to happen in the future for an hour while we get high. You know what I mean? There's that rawness to it. And I was talking about it. We were talking about it recently, but I said that my favorite podcast that I listen to, Joey doesn't listen to podcasts, but my favorite podcasts that I listen to are all unedited and just run forever and have a lot of stuff where the guy's messing with audio levels and they're checking a mic halfway through and trying to, do shit on the fly. And they don't go through and take that out because the process of making it is what makes it intimate. And I think that people are just now finding it, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. More and more people are going to get into it. And, a lot of well-respected and established people have podcasts now. So,
yeah, most definitely. People want something they can relate to. Most definitely. That's really what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I say that. What's your next one?
My next one's for both of us. Next president. What do you think the president's going to be? And I'm going to give you 4 choices.
Okay. Multiple choice presidential question.
Choice number 1.
Okay, so this is not based on our preference. So
No.
It's not I want so-and-so to be president.
These are factual.
This is a prediction.
These are factual options.
Okay.
Legitimate options.
Lay them on me.
Number 1.
Uh-huh.
Donald Trump.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2. Hillary.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Bernie Sanders. He's still there in the background.
4.
Number 4
Joe Biden.
is Joe Biden. Yeah.
Okay. I think that Bernie Sanders could have become president if he didn't base his whole campaign against Hillary Clinton and then at the end tell everybody to vote for Hillary Clinton because it's better than Trump. And I think that he lost a lot of people's trust with that. And I think that it looks more and more as a prediction in real life that Donald Trump's going to be president.
It's so crazy.
I know, it's insane. That's so weird to say. That is my
so crazy.
That is my for real answer. That
it's
I think
a
that
fucking
Donald
movie,
Trump
right?
is
It's
going to
a
be
straight
president.
up movie.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
It's a movie, man.
What do you think?
I think I hate it.
You think the same thing?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, though. It is. Because he's healthy. He's honest in his person. He's not honest. But, I mean, he's always him. He's always true to himself. You know what I'm saying? He's always Donald. And people respect him for that, for whatever dumbass reason, And I don't know, man. I think that just a couple things like that are going to make it's all the old people that are going to give him the vote, you know? Like, all the old people are going to vote for him just on, like, health and, like, business and, like,
Yeah, I found
things
out
like that.
I found out that my grandma is a super Trump supporter.
Yeah, I'm telling you, probably every old person.
She has a sign in her yard in Oregon.
Nobody wants to vote for Hillary, not old people.
Yep.
And young people don't now either. And I don't know where her votes are coming from. They're like bought or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But I am happy to see like what all the independent people did. Like Bernie Sanders did very well. I think he should not have run Democrat. If he would have ran as an independent from the beginning, Bernie Sanders probably would have won by a landslide. And it would be the first since like fucking, who's the last independent? Like Jimmy Carter or somebody like that. I don't remember who the fuck it was. It was somebody like crazy way back then.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, I don't know, man. I think Bernie could have done it. I like Jill Stein's getting so much publicity. Even the other guy, Gary Johnson or whatever, you know, he's kind of a dummy, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
And this is the conscious trend that's going to keep happening. This is where it's going. This is the future. It's going to be third parties. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be new things because the old shit hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And young people understand the necessity of change and shit more than anything.
It's going to be weird to see.
Young people grasp it because we're caught up in it. Every day the world's changing around us and we're changing with it, you know, and old people are like, stop. They don't understand it. So, it's weird, right?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And that's what, he's like the old school racist that appeals to old people. Like how he's racist against Mexicans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not really, though.
He's not. Yeah, he's
He
trolling
doesn't give
everybody.
a shit about any of it. It's all a game.
But that, like, he says all the right things to make people go like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, remember before Mexicans? All right, we'll be right back.
So funny.
Have you ever paid a toll without slowing down?
Speed pass.
Bought concert tickets from cash machines?
Yeah, perfect.
Or tucked your baby in from a phone booth?
Skype.
You will. And the company that'll bring it to you, AT&T.
You will. We should take like
singing in the background.
we should take like a bunch of clips from like horror movies and be like, have you ever made popcorn in your panties? And then like have like some like Pamela Anderson like in the beginning of Scream thing, and then like have it all build up to like, have you ever like ran for your life and then died out in the woods? You will. And then make it for Halloween. Boom.
Don't be giving away ideas.
You will. That's going to be our new YouTube campaign. You will.
All right.
So yeah, that was dope though. That was Skype. That was Skype for sure.
What's your prediction for Christmas?
My Christmas prediction for the top Christmas gift. What everybody's gonna get for everybody?
What's gonna be the thing?
I don't know, man. Like I was thinking about it, and it's hard. It's hard to peg, but I think that the new Christmas gift, biggest thing of all Christmas, is going to be I'm gonna say, even though they were big last year, they were just too expensive, is next generation consoles. I think that a lot of people are going to be getting like Xbox Ones and PS4s and shit. There's a lot of people that are still living in the past, because I remember last year during Christmas it was like $800 for a new one, for like an Xbox One. Am I right? $899, something like that.
No.
There's a lot of money. How much was it?
$4.99.
$499, $500.
Yeah.
And how much are they this year?
$2.99.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's how it happens.
$299. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think a lot of people are gonna be getting those.
Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna be playing catch up on the next generation models. I know I am.
I think it's gonna be iPhone 7 and that new iWatch.
Did you see the video? They do the fucking like the Jimmy Kimmel Man on the Street shit. And did you see the video with the iPhone 7? They took they had like people walking down the street that were like on their iPhones. They like targeted people that had like iPhone 6s or whatever, the newest ones or the most recent ones. And they were like, okay, we have like the iPhone 7 here, and it has a feature where you can like transfer all of your information, like your contacts and pictures and everything, from your old phone to the new phone, and then we could just cancel it. So like it'll delete everything, but that way you could just see how it works. And then they're like, okay, cool, yeah. So they like give them their phone, and then like some other guy like goes behind them to the table while the guy with the camera and the microphone is like explaining to them what's happening. And they just put a new case on their phone and then wipe off the screen and make it all nice and shiny and give it back to him. And everybody is all like, oh, wow. And it has all my stuff in it. This is so cool. And they all talk about how streaming it is and how much faster the videos play and how much brighter the screen is. And it was all just bullshit.
That's funny.
So I believe you.
Yeah.
Because it's just a placebo effect. Everybody just wants the new phone. They just gave him an iPhone 6 and told him it was iPhone 7, and everybody fucking talked about how amazing it was. How much more amazing it was than the phone that they just had in their hand.
Yeah.
And it's the same fucking phone.
Yeah, and the new one does a couple new things. So
and then they sold it to them for $50. They were like, we'll give you a deal right now. You can walk away with this iPhone 7 for $50. And everybody paid for it. And then afterwards, they fucking told them and got them to sign a release and gave them their money back. But still, everybody fucking paid for it and was like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, for sure, because it's too good to be true, you know?
So all you need is a microfiber and a camera and a microphone, and you could fucking make $50 all day.
So funny.
That's a free scam. I keep giving away ideas.
I know. Great job.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's get into these long terms. What do you think is going to happen, we'll say in the next 10, 20, 50 years even?
Natural Habitat Podcast becomes the #1 podcast in the world.
#1 on the iTunes charts?
I don't know.
Just in the world?
It's in the world.
I think that could be extremely possible. I found out that we are legitimate podcast hosts. We have been for over 100 episodes. So, yeah, once you do 100 episodes, you're established and you're syndicated, technically, on podcast television. Don't ask how it works. All right? I looked into it. You didn't.
Podovision.
Podstradamus.
That's our new shit.
And, yeah, I agree with that. I think that'll happen, too.
What else? You got one?
I do have one. I think that something is happening with space-time and some sort of parallel dimensions, or maybe two multiverses are merging or circling each other and we're in one of them. But the Mandela effect, I think, is going to keep on getting stranger and stranger, and eventually something's going to happen where these two timelines are going to mold together. And maybe for, I don't know, 5%, maybe not even 5%, maybe 1% of the people on the planet are going to remember both different distinct realities, and everybody else will just think that that's how it was. And I think that shit's going to get weird. And if you are one of the people, like say if we're one of the people and we're for some reason the 1% that's immune to what's happening with the universes and we're somehow aware of it, then imagine if shit just gets super fucking crazy and everything's weird and people are fucking driving toasters to work and nothing makes sense and we have to live in this altered universe. That's my theory, and I'm going for 100% today. I'm batting 1,000. I know baseball, apparently.
Huh. All right. Well, I got some really long-term predictions.
Okay. What is it?
Probably maybe not even in our lifetime.
Is it going to be the death of Joan Jett?
No.
Do you think she'll outlive us?
Maybe.
She might. Just to spite me.
I think the oil companies will become Big Green instead of Big Oil.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think they will program everybody and build everybody's shit and personalize everything to where every human needs their products. And it will be all like law enforced things. And they'll still just be big as fucking running everything.
Yeah, they could strip down all their like oil fucking fields where they have all the pumps and turbines that go into the ground. Strip those down and use the metal to make like fucking like structures for solar panels or whatever the fuck. Recycle all that shit. That would be dope. Imagine if an oil company said they were going to do that. Like if one oil company out in California wasn't making as much money as they used to, and they just have all these pumps that are out here, and they were like, look, we're going to dismantle all our pumps, use the metal to make a structure to put fucking solar panels on. It's ultra green because we're not going to buy any sort of like structure for it. We're building it our own with old oil pumps, and it's going to become a solar field. You're welcome. We're helping the planet. Everybody would suck their dicks. Literally. Even if they had oil on them, they would suck them.
Well, I think the way that it will happen is like everything happens with incentive, you know? Like you got to have a reason to do shit. So like soon enough, it's going to have to become necessity that we only run off of these type of energies, these renewable energies. So it's going to have to be wind and water and fucking, you know, all the shit. It's going to have to be everything. So once that becomes a necessity, then it doesn't matter if they make money from the individual consumer anymore, because they will have to be paid for by like taxes or like fucking, you know, paid for by the government. Instead, they'll become like a installation, kind of like how telephones were, or like how power is now. You know, it'll become something like that. They'll just be plugged in and be paid by the source. So we'll pay a fucking tax, and they'll just get they'll get all the money that way instead of fucking us paying a bill every month.
Yeah.
It'll be a basic like right for everybody to have free solar power and shit that'll be maintained by this government company.
Fuck yeah. You need to get on it, oil tycoons that listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
We know you're out there.
And another one is a one world money. I think eventually there will be like a one world currency, because then it's fair everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And it could be Bitcoin if it ever settles out. Like it's too up and down for anybody to actually put all their money into it and have it be a worldwide currency. But if it could be one universal, you know, one is one everywhere, then it would make everything easier.
Well, yeah.
And it would break barriers too.
Yeah, so it's like the only way to do it is like countries that are in debt would have to like pay their debt off.
Yeah.
And then they could like create a new currency, and it's who can do that, you know?
Yeah, it's
one
tough.
day. You know, one day.
Yeah, that's a long-term one, but that would be dope.
Yeah, probably one day after, like, you know, everything is provided for everybody.
Yeah, wasn't there already a one world currency called gold?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like
a long time ago?
There's a gold standard.
Yeah.
But there's still things that are worth more than gold.
Yeah, but it's like a long time ago, people would just pay for things in precious metals.
Yeah.
And, you know, services and, like, goats and blowjobs and shit. A lot of blowjob references in this episode.
Weird.
I know. So, yeah, could be, man. But I know that I'm going to check every day to make sure that all these things happen. And when they do, we're going to be back for a Podstradamus episode. Just to rub it in everybody's faces. And do you get money if you become like a Nostradamus? You tell the future?
No.
Is there like a medal or a reward ceremony or anything like that?
No, you just get to feel smart.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
You get the smarty ship belt.
Yep. And you'll get more puns like this if you become a Patreon at Patreon/NH Podcast.
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys.
Natural Habitat Recordings.